Forget about having insane aim and forget about crazy cracked out Adderall sniffing movement. In this video today, I want to give you my best Warzone 2 tips and tricks for how you can improve absolutely dramatically today by understanding some core fundamentals that absolutely anyone can get to grips with. And if you do understand these things and you implement these tips, I promise you, you are going to see incredible results almost immediately. Now, the first thing that we need to talk about today is going to be your positioning. In this game, positioning is absolutely key. Because of that fast TTK and the way that the game generally flows, you could have the best aim in the world, you could have the most cracked movement in the world, but if your positioning is wrong and you have shit positioning, well, I'm sorry, the other team is going to get you 9 times out of 10. Now, the first thing that you always want to make sure, like a baseline, is that when you take a gunfight, you are at a higher elevation than your enemy. I know that this is basic knowledge, but I see a lot of people taking gunfights, and to be honest, people that I'm playing with sometimes, they are taking gunfights uphill. They are trying to attack people whilst they have the high ground. The thing is, I know that a lot of people understand that you need to take the high ground, but I don't think a lot of people understand why. And the answer to that is actually pretty simple. If you are on the low ground, that means whoever is above you will have a top-down view of your head, meaning that the first thing that they're going to be able to see and the first thing that they're going to be able to shoot is going to be that sweet little face of yours, which is going to put you in the gulag relatively quickly. Now, on top of this, if you have the high ground, all you have to do is crouch behind literally any cover and you are completely covered, whereas the people below you 9 times out of 10 will actually have to go prone to avoid your line of sight. This will give you a major advantage because it means that you'll be able to pop in and out of cover insanely fast. Whereas for the other team to do the same, they will have to go through like another 1.5 seconds of animations to get to the same point where they can pop in and out of cover. Honestly, if you have it in your head the whole time that you need to be taking engagements from the highest point possible, this is going to improve your game so much. And if you don't have the high ground, don't take that shot. Don't give away your position. Reposition, get above your enemy, and then take the fight. And I promise 9 times out of 10, you're going to win that fight. Now, on top of this, if you're going to fight someone, make sure that you're not going to get pushed into them by the storm. I see so many people taking fights when the storm is approaching from their rear. This means that any sort of cover you have, whether it be the high ground or not, is null and void because sooner or later the storm is going to push you into the enemy. However, if you position yourself so that the enemy you want to fight is between you and the storm, well, guess what? You have the advantage because the storm is going to push them before it pushes you. The thing is, a lot of people are going to panic when they see the storm coming, and a lot of people are going to push you when they really shouldn't. If you try and hold every possible angle with you and your team that the enemy could try and escape from you whilst the storm is pushing them, you're going to be able to absolutely beam them down, no questions asked. And the nice thing about this is that if the storm is behind them and it is hot on their tail, you don't even have to get the finish because the storm is going to do the rest of the work for you. Now, whilst we're on the topic of finishing enemies, you really need to understand and know when the right time is to push. For example, if you're playing duos and your teammate calls out to you that they have one of them down and you can see that enemy, then 9 times out of 10, the right play here is going to be to push. Thing is, at this point, you have numbers on your side. If you continue to hold the angle and you continue to hold that high ground, this is going to allow the other team to reset, get their downed player up and put plates back on. This means that there was absolutely no advantage in knocking that teammate in the first place because now you are right back at the same position as you were when you started. If you push when one teammate is down, that means, you know, at absolute worst, you have a 1v1 on your hands, and at best, you catch them with their pants down trying to revive their teammate. It's a win-win. And even if you get killed in that 1v1, you will have got some shots off and your teammate will be close behind you to finish the kill. But in order to make your pushes more successful, you need to make sure that you have a gun for the job. I have personally been rocking the RPK and the Fennec. I find that this is the best combination in the game so far, and I will be releasing a class setup video on it because the RPK is shredding people at medium to long range, and then the Fennec deletes people so quickly up close. Like literally with the Fennec up close, there is nothing that can beat it, especially if you have a little bit of aim so that you can hit those headshots. But like I said, none of this matters if your positioning is wrong. If your positioning is wrong, then that means you're going to be caught with your RPK in your hand when you need your Fennec, and vice versa. You need to dial in your positioning and you need to get into the habit of making sure you have the advantage before the fight has even begun. And then the last thing that I want to talk about on this topic is your comms. I want you to really practice your communication with your teammates. It doesn't matter if you're playing in quads or duos or even on your own, to be honest. If you're shouting everything out and you're calling out every single enemy and every movement that you see, you will not fail. I see so many people who, when they get into stressful situations, they just shut the fuck up. They shut the fuck up until the fight is over and then they die and then they go, oh, I'm dead. You seriously need to be giving more information information to your teammates. Call out someone parachuting in a kilometer away if you see them. Call out everything that you see. The thing is, if you're playing in quads, for example, well, that means you have 8 eyes. 8 eyes that can be scanning the area and telling you what is going on. And you need everyone in that squad to be making sure that they're pinging and telling you exactly what they see. Because at the end of the day, there's 2 things that is going to win you a game of Warzone 2, and that's going to be your positioning and the information that you have at your disposal. And you will be able to get both of those things if you communicate with your teammates correctly and you call out everything you see, even when you're mid gunfight. Tell people how many shots you've got off on someone. Tell people if you've cracked their purple armor. Tell people if you've downed someone. Tell someone if you've thirsted them. Just tell everyone fucking everything, and I promise you're gonna have a much better time. Now, before the end of the video, I do just want to remind you guys that I'm currently engaged in a ridiculous slap bet with my brother-in-law, whereby he's going to slap me hard in the face if I do not hit 50,000 subscribers by New Year's Day. I realise this is an incredibly tall ask, but if you could just spare that half a second it takes to smash that subscribe button, me and my face will be eternally grateful, and in return, I promise to give you the best Warzone 2 tips and tricks that I possibly can. Now, for those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see you who sticks around until the end, so if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. Would you rather ejaculate once every hour on the hour or never ejaculate again? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.